And we're live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Skip Happens, the podcast where we, I guess, more or less skip the small talk. We skip the script and occasionally skip recording altogether. Well, we actually recorded last time, but there was like this echo. We'll talk about that here in a minute as well. Yeah, that's Jimmie Allen, but I'm Skip Clark. I'll guide you through life's bloopers, brain farts, and bizarre detours. It's time for you to buckle up. It's not perfect. I'm just telling you, it's not perfect. That's why it's called Skip Happens, but it's definitely not boring. And let's go. Tonight's guest. You know what? Hang on. Here we go.
Hey, this is Jimmie Allen.
I love you with everything I got. Girl, I'll give you my best shot. And meanwhile, down home, oh, you know mama's still cooking down home. So living for a Friday, and freedom was a highway. Yeah, it might be too soon to say I love you, but you're gonna make me want to.
Yeah, Jimmie Allen, y'all. Ew.
Yeah, I know those songs.
Do you? I was going to ask, have you ever heard them before? They're like some of my favorites. So
I was around when they were created. My
Yeah.
co-writers let me hang out.
Bet you were. Jimmie Allen, I want to say thank you. Thank you for taking my call today when I reached out to see if you wanted to come on tonight. It's all kind of last minute, but, ever since the last time I had you on, I don't know what happened, but there was this echo and it just,
Yeah,
it was
my
a great.
phone was echoing like I had a flip phone. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you do have a flip phone.
Man, the crazy thing is, I'm thinking about going back to a flip phone or going to no phone.
The no phone may not be a bad idea. I'm just saying,
It's
but then
peace.
again,
It's I like it. It's peaceful, peaceful that way.
I know. But hey, before we get into all this stuff, when I reached out today and I said, "What are you doing?" You go, "Oh, dude, I'm fishing." I go,
Yep.
"Cool. How cool." Now that's peaceful.
Man, absolutely peaceful. I love it. I'm hooked on it. Some might say I'm addicted to it. I could be.
Hey, why not? Why not?
Absolutely. I tell everybody, it's always funny to me when people talk about like addictions, right? And I ask someone, what makes someone addicted? Because they like to do it, and it's their free time they do it. Because people only use the word addiction when it's something that they have a
Something
problem.
bad.
Whether
Right.
it's alcohol, whether it's a casino, or whether it's whatever. But I'm like, well,
True.
you like to watch TV? Are you addicted to TV? Is it a bad thing? Some people like to
Mhm.
drive. Are you addicted to driving? So I feel like the word addiction I feel like the word addiction should be used cautiously, but only when if there's something important to do, you choose to do that over what you need to do that's important. And that's where, what you like to do becomes a problem, an issue.
Is your mind always turning? I mean, because we just talked about addiction and you
Always.
just this whole, and I love that. I love that about you. But
I can't shut my brain off. I be
no,
trying.
no, that's not a bad thing though.
Yeah, I be trying, but it don't go off.
So let me ask you this though. When you like today, you said you were fishing. I don't know if you're out on a boat or on a pier, but so when it's so
I
peaceful,
was off the surf today. A couple of days ago. I took my son out. We went out on the boat.
Cool. Do you have a boat?
So I used to have a boat until I joined this boat club called Freedom Boat Club. So I was like, I could keep my boat and have to worry about gas and fixing it and oil changes, putting it in the water, taking it out the water, or I can join Freedom Boat Club and I go online, reserve the boat I want. I drive up to the dock, the boat's in the water, I hop on it and go.
And when you come back, you just get out and get back
Get
in the
out
car and go home.
Boat club to join y'all. Freedom Boat Club. They have them in Delaware, New Jersey, Maryland, Florida. They're all over the place. I think they got them in Michigan too.
Yeah. So, we all know that you left Nashville. You went back home. What's it like to be back home for you? This is home.
Man, I love it. Like my plan always was to go to Nashville long enough just to get my career going and get stable and then leave. Because a lot of things I like to do, Nashville doesn't have.
Yeah.
The ocean don't have it. The bay don't have it. Can't gamble in person or online.
Especially not in Nashville.
Yeah, it's too far from New York. It's too far from Jersey and Philadelphia and DC, places I like to go a lot. Because like the closest beach, like the drive is like 8 hours. I'm like, that's terrible. Like I didn't realize how, and Nashville's too much of a big city for me. I don't.
It's even bigger. It's
Yeah,
even
I
bigger.
don't like it. Like
Yeah.
I enjoyed the old Nashville. That was cool.
Yeah.
But kind of what it's grown into, it's a good thing for business, and I'm glad it's a place where, has brought business in where people can have jobs to support their family. But what I'm into, like, nah, I'm good.
Mm. Yeah, I don't blame you, my friend. I mean, I love Nashville, don't get me wrong, but I'm not what I do, you'd be really surprised to to know that I'm not a real people person.
Hmm.
I just, I love what I do.
It's like I like people, but I don't like people.
Exactly. Exactly. Tyler, do you like people? All right,
Kinda.
that's
Because most of the stuff I do in like my free time, like I enjoy being on stage and entertaining
yeah.
people and
Exactly.
letting them have a good time.
Exactly.
But as far as hanging out, I typically isolate.
I get it. And that's another reason you're addicted to fishing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because now there ain't nobody
And I
out on
don't,
that boat but you and the kids.
and I don't mind, people when I'm playing softball or
Yeah.
bowling, because I can still just isolate into my team. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
exactly.
Or the lane I'm
Let's
going on.
let's talk about you though just a little bit. And some of these questions I may have asked on the previous podcast, but because it was so, well, let me put it this way, Skip happened.
Mhm.
And I felt terrible when I listened back and went, "Oh no, Jimmie, you're such a star," and then to get you on, and then to have that happen. But back in the day, how fast things disappeared for you. The shows, the brand deals, a movie, even an ice cream collab.
Mhm.
Uh, was it true that you felt like the industry just gave up on you too fast?
I did. I would say I felt like a lot did, but a lot didn't. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's one of them things where the people that knew me
Mhm.
personally
Mhm. Mhm.
didn't. The people that just knew, you know, the artist and the
And what they
image,
read.
yeah,
So,
and the
yeah.
image that they wanted to give me based off not having a single conversation with me.
Yeah.
It's kind of just what happens. Like, people do it today. You know
But
what I
you're on
mean?
your feet, dude. You're back on your feet.
Yeah, man. For me, I was always on my feet. You know what I mean?
Maybe just a little bit taller
Yeah, a little
now.
bit taller, but it's one of them things where you kind of just, you know, because show opportunities came back, offers came back like 6, 7 months after, but I just decided to just step away. Like I was writing,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
playing softball, hanging
Yeah.
with my kids, bowling,
Yeah.
just enjoying life and trying to find that spark again.
What I think a lot of people don't realize is you're human, I'm human, and we all make mistakes. I mean, we've all been there. I mean, I know your story a little bit, and it's like, well, you know, if somebody else was in your shoes, it could be almost the same thing. It's just crazy crap.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely, man. It's one of them things where I tell people, life is going to happen regardless. Things you
skip happened.
control,
Yeah.
things you can't.
Hmm.
But only thing you can really control is how you choose to operate when certain things happen.
Yeah.
You can keep moving. You can go into a shell and be afraid of what people might think of you. And I can tell you right now, I don't give a damn what people think about me.
I love you for that,
I
man.
really don't. Because here's the thing: no matter what you choose to do with your life, no matter what you choose to believe in, no matter what people say about you, some people are going to like you, some people aren't.
It's
And,
life.
and that's okay. You just
Yeah.
focus on what you love and surround yourself with people
Yeah.
that love you.
Yeah.
And if you're an artist, the music you make is for people that like it. And the people that don't,
Yeah.
it's a
I know.
lot of people in the world. I mean,
Oh
a
yeah, oh
lot.
yeah, and I think you're going to find out there's more people that like you that do not.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
I already know that from what I hear every day, and now things have kind of settled down a little bit. It's good to have you back. But do you think being a black man in country music changed how your situation was actually handled?
Damn right. Here's the thing. I'm not an idiot.
No, I
You know what
know.
I mean? And
Yeah. So
I hate when the dumbest phrase I hate, I don't see color. Are you blind? You do. You know what color shoes you wearing. You know what color hat you wearing. You know what color your car is. So how do you not know the skin color of people? My thing is, it's not about being racist. It's about being mindful that
Yeah.
we live in a society where sometimes things go differently based on your skin color, because based on whoever is
Sure.
judging you at the moment, how they grew up, what they were taught, um,
It's
what
crazy.
media says, what media doesn't say.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, of course, I would be, I do I see color? Hell yeah, I see color. Do I treat people differently because of their color? No. 'Cause
I'm
I
just
don't
a white boy doing a
yeah,
podcast.
yeah, you know what I mean? I don't care. Now, I do love a lot of racist jokes though. I think stereotypes are
Don't
hilarious.
get me going. It's
I
all good.
I,
I don't.
I love them. I think stereotypes are hilarious. But
Yeah.
at the same time, like I tell people, it's about, no matter what your job is, if you're a musician or if you have a 9 to 5 job, based on the job, sometimes you can run into issues based on your skin color. So the thing is understanding it and knowing it going into it, and then, maneuvering the way you need to maneuver to get where you need to go. Everything's strategy. Everything's about strategy. And I tell people, when it comes to a lot of times entertainment, it's not about how you perceive yourself. It's about how people view you.
Yeah.
And understand, once you
So
understand how
true.
people view you, right? Then you can understand how you need to move in certain situations, because I understand I understood when I first came into country music. As a black guy, I can't wear Jordans on stage, right? I couldn't wear Jordans in a jersey because I'd be a hip hop artist, but yet other artists could, whether it was, my
You
boy
have a
Tyler
point.
Hubbard,
Yeah. Yeah.
whether it was my boy Mitchell Tenpenny, whether it was my boy Morgan. They can do that because of the skin color. You know what I'm saying? Because of the image it looks. Because when people see a black guy in Jordans, they automatically think he's a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like the same thing, and that's just based off because of
It's
how
true.
the genre is. And then some people might say, "Oh no, that's not true. You're an idiot." It is. Okay, don't be naive, because that's fact.
Right.
Because we know good and well, you know what I mean, if my boy Jelly Roll was black, it wouldn't have happened. Country music is not going to accept a black guy with face tattoos that has had a criminal past. It ain't gonna happen. But what I love is, see, Jelly Roll knows that too. But I love that he made the best with his opportunity, and he's also bridging the gap to a lot of different people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's
Absolutely.
and that's
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
that's what I love. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because I even experienced it with radio interviews, right? Someone would interview me. So what got you into country music, right? This lady asked me that, and I said to her, I said, question, how many white artists have you asked that question to? Think about it. And she said, I said, you'll ask them who your influences are, where you grew up, but you don't ask them what got you into country music. Because when you see a black guy, you think, what does he know about country? You see what I'm saying? So I said, I'm not answering that question. I said, ask me something else. But I said, a lot of times, we can have things that we do, and she didn't do it maliciously, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of times, because people see with their eyes, but people also hear with their eyes, right? And I didn't take offense to the question. I just like to challenge people to think for themselves, right? And to actually put thought and be intentional with things you do, even something that she might do every day, like a radio interview. You know what I mean? But because it's still a radio interview and you still want to get to know someone.
Yeah.
So when you ask someone about what got you in the country music, I had to challenge her. That's
I love that. I love that you push back like that.
You have to, because I feel like that's the only way to get people to start thinking for themselves. Because we live in a world right now where everybody's a lot of sheeples. A lot of lazy thinking people out there. So
you had to be thinking, what a stupid idiot to ask me that question.
What got
got you into country music?
Because people, you think about it. You know what I mean? Like,
it's
because have you ever asked a white artist that question? If you think about it,
no. I don't think I've ever asked a black artist that question. It's just not the thing to do. Now, I know everybody's different, and I have a lot of respect for my colleagues and people that do those interviews. But it's just, you need to take a few minutes and think about what you're going to do. How are you going to interview? And you already know with me, it's pretty real. It's real.
And that's what makes yours so great, because
thank you.
When you do things like Radio Row at CMAs.
Yeah, yeah.
People ask the same question. Tell me about the single. Tell me. It's boring. Like people say, well, how do we keep artists engaged? Ask them something that most people don't. You could say, hey, when you wrote this song, ask them a crazy question. When you wrote this song, what were you wearing?
Dude, that's exactly what I do. I'll say,
were you wearing sweats? Were you wearing jeans? Yeah. And what made you wear that? And like you have a different type of conversation that'll keep the artist engaged, and it'll take it from one word questions to a conversation.
No, exactly. And that's what I do here at Skip Happens. We're not perfect. Yeah. We're going to have fun. It's just like, I'll turn down a road. We'll get completely off subject, like we were in the beginning. We were talking about fishing. Yeah. I believe you're out.
To me, that's all on subject because we're just here to have a conversation. So whatever the hell we talk about, what we talk about.
Cool. And by the way, how many flounder did you bring home?
I ain't bring none home. I was too lazy to cook them, so I gave them to my cousin.
How many did you get?
I got 3 today.
Yeah. And you said you're going for tuna tomorrow?
Yeah, you're going for tuna Thursday.
Holy shit. That means you got to go out a ways for that, right?
Oh, yeah. We go about about 50, 60 miles out.
Oh, you ain't swimming back to shore.
Hell, if you do, there's been a problem out there, damn it. If you do something, if you swimming back, Skip happened. All right?
It's more than Skip happens. Skip is done. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, my dad used to have his hat that said shit happens on that.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. Do you're good friends with Patrick Mahomes, right?
Yeah, I know Pat.
Yeah. Do you guys still keep in touch and all that? So you must.
I haven't talked to him in a minute.
Yeah. How cool is that?
So my son is a huge Patrick Mahomes fan.
Oh my God.
But he's also an Eagles fan. So my son kind of felt a certain way, when the Eagles were giving him that work. I loved it. Hopefully that shows that they need to get a new offensive line because their offensive line was terrible. They look like grown men all season playing against other teams, but when they run against them Eagles, they look like little boys. So hopefully that's the first thing they did. I'd have gave every last one of them the pink slip. Okay, I'm sorry. You got to go.
You guys are done.
Listen, man, Pat ain't never been touched that much in his life, and we wasn't even blitzing. I loved it.
Tyler's my football guy over here. He's just over here shaking his head.
Man,
he doesn't talk much.
Them and the Commander's belt to ass. Okay.
Damn. What do you think about the Bills? Come on. Okay.
I pay them every month. I pay my electric.
I love that.
The Bills. I don't have no problem with the Bills. I don't hate the Chiefs either. I just hate the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Like I hate the Cowboys so much.
Yeah.
If they offered me $1 million to perform in a Cowboys stadium, I'd say no.
Dude,
I'm dead serious, bro. That's another reason why I would not.
If the Cowboys came up to you and said, "Look, we want you to do the halftime show. We're going to pay you $1 million to do that."
No. See, Eagles fans are different. Even if I did that, the Eagles fans would let me. They would let me have it and would not. There's just certain things.
You think so?
Absolutely. Listen. Here's the thing. I'm hoping the ACMs. Do I hate the Cowboys more than the Yankees? Absolutely hate the Cowboys more than the Yankees. Here's the thing. I'm hoping the ACMs move back to Vegas because I'm not going until they get up out of Dallas, close to the practice facility of the Cowboys.
Wow.
I hate them that much, bro.
Wow. Hey, do you? I know you're enjoying doing your own thing. Mm-hmm. And you seem very happy now, much respected for what you're doing. But do you hope to someday maybe be back on the ACMs or be involved with the CMAs, or can they go and kiss your ass? You know what I mean?
I like what the ACMs and the CMA stand for, doing the work. So for me, it's not about the award show.
Right.
For me, it's about the community work they do. And I always love to be a part of the community work. Like, as far as like the popularity and the fame side that comes with performing on the show, whether it's the CMAs or the ACMs, I could live with it. I could live without it. Yeah. But, I definitely, me and Damon Whiteside, he runs the ACMs. Love that guy. Any community thing they have going on, count me in to be a part of it. But just as far as like, I guess, fame chasing stuff, I wouldn't say I wouldn't do it, but I would say it's not
Yeah.
something I'm sitting around home thinking about. You know,
No.
I'm not thinking about performing CMAs. I'm not thinking about performing to ACMs. But am I thinking about giving and helping out with the charities that the ACMs and the CMAs are
Sure.
a part of?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like
Cool.
I love the work they do for education, for kids, for schools, ACM Lifting Lives, CMA Foundation. I'm all about, like, the older I get, you know,
Yeah. What are you, 26?
nah,
Just
man, I'm
saying.
40.
No, you didn't have to tell me. I was like
Oh
busting.
yeah, I'm 40. Absolutely.
Dude, you're
Light don't
just a
crack.
kid.
Light don't crack. Nah, but for me, it's just about doing things that matter.
Mhm,
You know what I
mhm,
mean?
mhm.
To where if I got a performance spot on the CMAs or the ACMs, yeah, it's cool. But to be invited to go with them to a school to talk to kids, that's what
Yeah,
excites me.
yeah. What, Jimmy, if I may ask, somebody that's been through everything you've been through. I mean, you've had all those hits. You know, we know what happened, and now you're back at it, putting out some great music. And by the way, you sent me the single, or you sent me a song last time we had talked,
Long time
and
yeah.
and I'll be honest with you, I listened to it and I went, "This is radio ready. This needs to go on the radio." And we need to talk some more about that here in a little bit.
Absolutely.
But what advice would you give to somebody that wants to do what you're doing, but how can they make sure that? I guess what advice can you give them?
Keep your circle small.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with people that love you and people that have shown you that they're there for you. Um,
Mm,
Never lose your hobbies that make you happy, because when you lose your hobbies, you slowly start to lose a piece of yourself. Because
yeah.
I did that to where I was just chasing TV, music,
Yeah.
TV, music, TV, music.
You got lost in the wrong.
Yeah, chasing this fake lifestyle,
Yeah.
because that stuff's not real, man.
Yeah.
It's not reality. Reality set in when the show was over and I got to change my kid's dirty diaper. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just like the rest of us.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I tell people, I tell new artists all the time, this music business is nothing but a job. That's all it
Hmm.
is. It
Hmm.
just so happens that our job sometimes is on television and
Hmm.
sometimes it's in front of people. But I would say, remember who you are.
Yeah.
Make songs that you love. Read contracts completely. Don't just sign it because you need money. If you need money, go get another job.
Hmm. Hmm. That's good. That's good. You know,
And ownership's important.
yes, absolutely. Do you own all your own material right now?
I
Do
do
you,
now.
like, if you go back to Down Home and all those great songs,
So
you have?
I don't own Down Home anything yet, but the new stuff I'm putting out now,
Mhm.
I own the
Gotcha.
masters, because of
Gotcha.
the new deal that I have. It's a split where I own majority of the masters.
Nice.
Ownership's important.
Nice.
Like, same thing with my publishing. Like, I probably won't sign
Yeah.
another publishing deal.
Where do you when you go to record a new song, where do you go? Do you go back to Nashville or you just stay away from that?
Sometimes I do.
Yeah.
And they have this studio in Delaware that I record a lot at.
Oh, okay.
A
Okay.
lot of guys, all my guys I still write with still live in Nashville, so I go to Nashville to write, hang out with them, catch up.
Cool.
Um, you know, my oldest son still lives there, so he's with me for the summer.
I got you.
And we get him every other holiday. So
Yeah.
typically
Yeah.
every couple of weeks I'll be in Nashville just hanging out with him. Then I'll write,
Cool.
meet
Cool.
people,
Yeah.
and because half of my team is in Nashville, the other
Gotcha.
half in LA
Yeah.
and Miami.
Yeah.
And well, New
Uh,
York now too. So
that's very cool. How old is your son? That's
11.
11. God bless him, man.
Mm-hmm.
And what's his name?
Aiden.
And what are the other names?
I got Aiden. You got Naomi, Zara.
When you got to roll your eyes and you think,
Yeah.
it's like, oh God, what are the kids?
You got
Trying to get all the names straight.
Aiden, Naomi,
Oh.
Zara, Amari, Aria, Cohen, and Alani.
Oh, I love those names.
That's 7.
Yeah, those aren't your typical names. I love that.
Yeah, and the crazy thing
Absolutely
is, I
love
got to name all my kids.
You
That's why.
did.
Yeah,
How cool.
yeah,
Very cool.
yeah. It's important to me because I believe there's power in a name, and a
Mhm.
lot of times before I name any of my child, I'm gonna research and see what that name means, because I feel like whatever the name is, whatever that means, I honestly believe that's energy and and everything in that name that you're sending to your
Mm-hmm.
kids. Like, no offense to anybody out there named Damien, but I would never name my child Damien.
Yeah, somebody named me Skip, so I don't know what the hell that was about.
But just because of the definition of the word and what's
no, I know, I got you. I totally understand that.
So
Totally. So when was your last 300 game?
the crazy thing is I've never had a 300.
You're the Pro Bowler, dude.
I've had 13 299s. I've had so many 288s I can't count. I've had a few 291s, 298s, 297s. Wow. That 300, man, that 300 is rough. But I've batted 1,000 a bunch of times in my softball tournament.
I was going to say now softball, yeah, wow,
yeah. Wow. So I'm officially a pro softball player now. I'm officially sponsored.
So how does one become a pro softball player? Is that like Major League Baseball?
Yeah, so there's companies out there like Mikan, Easton, Worth.
Sure.
And they have bats and gloves and stuff like that. And technically, once you get paid, you're no longer an amateur. So there's a few tournaments out there they pay me to play.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, they pay you to play ball. Why not?
Yeah, and they definitely don't pay me because of my name. They didn't offer me sponsorships or anything until I got good. And I'm not great, but I'm okay.
Yeah, but you're getting paid to play softball, which you love. You get you're a pro bowler, so you're getting paid to bowl.
And it's so funny because people will be like, the ball's coming in so slow. Anybody can hit it over the fence. Okay, come try it. Yeah. I brought one of my buddies out there that was this, college baseball player. He kept popping up. I said, see, the ball's coming in slow at an angle. You dip your shoulder, it's going straight up. And like this, and it's a lot harder than it looks because sometimes these guys, like, I think my average bat speed ball off the bat is in between 98 and like 105 mile an hour off the bat, right? Some of these guys out here playing, they're hitting that thing off the bat 120, 130 mile an hour.
That's huge for softball.
Oh, yeah, because you got to generate that momentum yourself because, baseball, the ball's coming in fast. Yeah. You make contact and start to create momentum. But softball, you got to create your own momentum. Oh. And I love it. It's fun. Get time to hang out with the guys. Like my older brother, me and him.
Oh, that's cool.
We're playing ball because we couldn't play together growing up because he's 15 years older than me. Mm-hmm. So, he played in college, got drafted by the Mets, played for the Mets for a while.
No way.
He's been chilling and he started swinging with me last week and we had our first tournament together. That's the first time he's held a bat in 15 years.
And he's got 15 years on you.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that's, that is cool.
So he's playing. Cool. So we're playing senior ball now, 40 and up. I love it.
Cool. Well, we're the Mets, when it comes to baseball, we're the Mets AAA affiliate here in Syracuse where I have the pod zone. But, to see these guys play, and we're talking about the velocity of the ball coming off that bat, and you're right, the pitch is coming in at 95 miles per hour, and then bam.
I gave one at baseball. I played in this baseball league 3 years ago. I got hit with an 85 mile an hour softball in the ribs. I said, I'm done. This is stupid.
That's going to leave a mark.
I am not getting paid for this. Okay. I'm done with this. I quit.
One thing we don't want you to do is quit music. So you've got this tour. I happen to see it online. I think it's like, I saw Syracuse on the schedule and I took a screenshot and I texted to you going, dude, what's all this about?
Yeah.
And tell us what's going on. It's you and you're going acoustic, right?
Yeah. So I've had this idea because so a lot of times at my shows are all over the place. It's a country show, a rock show, a hip hop show, a comedy show, and story time all at the same time, right? Because I spent years trying to figure out how do I make my show different than from everyone else. And my mom was like, be yourself. There's only you. So only time people can get an experience that you give them if they come to your show. So I like telling stories behind the songs, right? So I was like, man, I want to do an acoustic tour where I perform the songs, but talk about like the inspiration behind the song, inspiration behind the video, and kind of let people really get to know the personal side of the song, right? And the cool thing is they get to compare what inspired me to what they feel, when they hear it.
I love that. I love what you're doing. It's just you and a guitar, I guess.
Yep, and my keyboard player.
And your keyboard.
And then in between that, we'll still do some full band shows and stuff like that. And then there's a couple of the shows we actually might switch to full band, but we'll still talk, talk about
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
See, I love that. I mean, as a radio station, we do a lot of shows like that. It's just the artist and the guitar, and you know, we do a showcase and they tell stories about their songs, and
mhm.
it's just to me, it's an intimate thing, and it's something that, as a music lover, you will never forget. You will never forget how Jimmie Allen sat there and told us whatever, you know, this song was all about and what made him write it, what, you know, the feelings behind that. So,
Yeah, I always think stuff like that's important. You know, because you you hear songs, right? And as a music fan myself, I've always wondered, like, man, what made them write that? Like,
yeah,
how
yeah.
did they how did they come up with that? You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
it's always cool to um, you know, it's always cool to get a chance to,
Sure.
you know, give the backstory of the song and kind of hear the backstory of the song.
No, I love that. I know, Rod. I just he's asking where in Syracuse. I know for a fact it's at a place called Middle Ages Brewing.
Yeah,
So
I have no idea what a Syracuse show is. I am the worst person to ask that question.
what?
Like
It's like that with any artist, dude. It's like
even playing softball, people be like, Jim, you know what inning it is? I said, I don't know what inning it is. I don't know what to score. The only thing I know is I catch the ball and I hit the ball. Go team.
well, I mean, how true is it as an artist? You go out on the road. Yeah, you know you're going to hit so many cities in so many days.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is the bus takes you to where you need to go. You get off, you probably got to go, okay, where are we today? Oh, we're in Syracuse.
Listen,
Okay,
there's been
good.
so many times
Yeah. I get
didn't
it though.
know.
I totally get it.
So many times I didn't know where I was. All I saw was a uh the road, the hotel, and that's it. Skip. What's your station called again?
It's 92.1 The Wolf.
I'm posting this on my live. Hold on.
Oh, dude, you're awesome. You're awesome.
Man, I almost forgot.
But it's my Skip
Yeah.
Happens podcast. But it is live on our Facebook too tonight, so it's on the radio station Facebook. We've had a lot of listeners ask about
It's
you.
the Wolf. What is it again?
It's 92.1 The Wolf.
There it is. 92.1.
And it's
Wolf.
Syracuse. You know, up where you played at the fair a bunch of years ago.
Oh yeah, good times by the way.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love
Don't you have relatives or somebody in the area? I think
Syracuse.
that day when I talked to you, you said you were
Oh
somewhere.
yeah, man. You know, black people, we got cousins everywhere, bro.
I don't know. I'm white and I got cousins everywhere. So there you go. I mean,
you want to know what's so funny?
Huh.
I heard the funniest thing on Instagram or TikTok, whatever. Somebody was like, he said, you know, one thing I've never heard a white person say when you call them what? Hanging at my cousin's house. Have you ever heard that?
No.
It's crazy when you think about it, right?
Jimmie.
It might say relative, family member.
I
was
family,
like,
and
have I
hanging at my
ever
cousin's house.
heard that? And even if they are at their cousin's house, you know,
Yep.
yeah, that's pretty funny.
Oh my God. It's
Like,
hilarious.
I love stereotypes. They're pretty wild.
Yeah, well, you know, you've got a good attitude with that. And I love it because there'd be some people, especially this day and age, that'll say, you know, screw you, buddy. We don't need, you know, people are just, they can be assholes. So,
absolutely. And I love
you know.
people too. Like I even do that in my comments sometimes, man. So, you know, a lot of times people forget that I do stand-up comedy. So I have days where I have
Whoa. Time out. I didn't know you did stand-up comedy.
Oh yeah, it's pretty wild, man. I've definitely
What is there anything that Jimmie Allen does not do?
Yeah, communicate well. And obviously marriage. But other than that, you know, we're
dude,
rolling.
I've been there. I know.
Nah, it's fun. I've definitely for me, I think I've lost my filter. But you know, I've said stuff on stage where people might cancel you for it. But for me, jokes is jokes. To me, everybody's fair game.
You know, if you can't take it, you shouldn't be there.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? I mean, I get the same thing when I do radio stuff. It's the same thing, dude.
So I have days where, I'll see some comments on my thing, and I'm not that. It was crazy to me how sometimes people think they can post whatever they want comment whatever they want on somebody's page, but if the artist or the actor responds, "Oh, you're being mean," nah. Listen, there's this one guy. He posted something. I roasted him in about 6
Love it.
paragraphs.
Love
And
it.
just when he thought I was done, then I went to his Instagram page and got a bunch of pictures, did some research, and I tore him up. I said, "Bro, I got time today." I said, "I'm giving you the attention that you claim you might want, but you're not going to want after the day."
Dude, we need to talk about this. I'll invite you over to my cousin's house and we'll kind of
Your relative,
my relatives,
family member,
my family members.
Your
Yeah,
loved one.
exactly. I had Tyler over here. He's falling asleep. I don't know what.
because he's a Cowboys fan. They've had boring seasons the last few years. That's why he's falling asleep.
Yeah.
I just want
Eagles
to point
fans don't
out,
fall
Wait a
asleep.
minute.
you said you wouldn't go to Dallas. Your tour starts in Dallas. There's no Philly dates.
I said I won't perform in Dallas close to the Cowboys stadium or in the Cowboys.
In the stadium, even if they offered him $1 million
Even
bucks.
if the Cowboys could offer me $1 million to
$2
do the
million.
halftime show, I would say no. I'd say completely no.
So would you rather win the Super Bowl or beat the Cowboys twice? But you lose every other game.
Oh, beat the Cowboys twice.
Okay, we agree on that. But the Eagles, only team we got to beat.
Bam.
We as Eagles fans, man, we've got used to winning. We had, don't get me wrong, man, we had it rough when the Cowboys were doing their thing back in the 90s. And ever since then, I don't know what I think they cursed, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm happy to see it though. I hope it keeps going.
Well, time will tell. Time will tell.
Time will tell.
Hey, so let's go back to the music for a minute or two or three. What about, is Jimmie Allen going to be dropping an album? What are we going to do to get you back out there? What can we do? What can I do as a radio guy? Because we need you back.
Man, we have 2 singles coming out, Beer 99 and Small Town Anthem. So Small Town Anthem is more of the, straight down the middle, Jimmie Allen typical radio song.
And that's the one I believe I said was radio ready. I could tell just by listening to it.
And Beer 99 is more of it's a country influence, but it has more of the hip hop appeal.
Okay.
So what I do, right, to get feedback, because for me, it's important for, some of my songs to reach people that don't listen to country music. So I have some cousins that live in California that don't listen to country. They've never heard of Luke Bryan, never heard of Morgan Wallen, never heard of Luke Combs. The only country artist they've ever heard of is Garth Brooks, right? So what I do is songs that I want to appeal to people that don't listen to country, I'll send it to my cousins, right? And they'll ride around, listen to it, like, oh, I like this, I like this.
Family relative.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Family relative, exactly. So I sent Beer 99 to them, and they said, oh, dude, this slaps. I said, cool. Then I sent them another one. So what do you think about this? I said, cool. All right. So these are the 2 songs that I know I can. Small Town Anthem, will go for more, the country format and playlisting and all that stuff for that. And then Beer 99 will still shoot some country, but go more of alternative route, like urban radio, urban playlisting and stuff like that. Because, this music has an amazing way to bring people together. Yeah. So, and there's a lot of songs that people will connect with that you wouldn't expect it, because honestly, what separates genres for me is the production. You can literally take a song, right? Change a few words, change the production, then you got a hip hop song. Change the production, you got a pop song. Change the production, you got a rock song. Drag out some of the phrases. And that's really what it is. The production and phrasing is really, I feel like, what sets apart a lot of.
And I think, I hear a lot of this music come in, Jimmy, and I think it's not only what you just said, but it's also the processing of the music, which will make it, it'll give it a different sound. Sometimes it's clipping, and it's clipping on purpose. And it just makes it, I don't know if that makes sense at all, but I can hear the difference. There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah. And I'm a fan of, mixing track production with live instruments. So a lot of times what I do now is I'll have one of my pop guys or my hip hop buddies make a track. I'll write to it, but then I'll go into the studio with my band and we put live instruments over it to where you still got that backbeat and it feels good, but at the same time you got the live instruments over top of it. I call it shout out to my boys Louis Short for this phrase, deep fried veggies, where it's, it tastes good, but it's also good for you.
I like that.
So
deep fried veggies.
Deep fried veggies. Yeah.
I have those over at the relative's house.
Claude Kelly, Chuck Harmony.
I love it. I love that.
Yeah,
hey, talking about, we're talking a little bit about different styles of music, some of the collaborations you've had. I mean, what, Babyface, T-Pain, CeeLo, I think I remember back. Oh, yeah.
Elton John, Nelly, J-Lo.
Dude.
Yeah, me and Elton John did a song together on his record called The Lockdown Sessions. And the craziest thing, the coolest thing was sitting in the studio with, I'll text you the picture, sitting in the studio with Elton, watching Elton sing words to a song that I co-wrote. It was crazy to me. And I'm just sitting there like, and then here's what tripped me out. When he turned around and said, Jimmy, did I do okay? I said, bro, you're Elton John, bro. You can burp on the record.
And it sounds great.
But it shows the humanity, the human side of people that no matter how many people think someone's amazing, we still sometimes have our own insecurities. But he showed up fly though. He had this Benny and the Jets jacket on.
I love it.
Shoes that I'm sure cost more than anything I own. You know
I'm
what
sure.
I mean? Like,
he
was he was a cool dude. And like how it happened was I was like, man, I want to write a song with Elton John. So I met my boy Tyler Bird that knew this writer, that knew a writer that's friends with Elton. We wrote the song. He called Elton, sent it to Elton, asked him if he would want to do it with me. He said, yeah. I was like, because I'm like, all I can say is no, right? And like after talking to like Elton for a minute, he said, Jim, believe it or not, a lot of people don't ask me to do duets. And he says because a lot of times people think they would say no. And a lot of times artists like that don't get asked to do a lot of duets by new artists. But I'm like, just do it. I don't think somebody says no. And you're in the same position you are in now. My grandma's favorite phrase, closed mouths don't get fed.
There you go. Says it all too. And Michael James saying that's incredible. I would agree 100%. That is incredible. Were you like, I know I would have been, Skip would have been happening, if you know what I mean, if I was sitting in the same room as Elton John.
I almost beat myself twice.
Yeah. I mean, no matter how long I've been doing and interviewing great artists like yourself and doing the radio thing, if Elton John walked in that studio, I'd be like,
totally almost peed myself. Then trying to hold my pee, I think a fart might have slipped out. Either way,
it's like,
John,
no.
You know what I mean?
And you're going, I hope he doesn't smell that. I love that.
If it had been after 6 p.m., he would have had cleared that entire studio. Let me say, see, my farts don't stink before 10 a.m.
No, of course not.
Between like noon and 7:30, baby, I'll clean out a football stadium.
Oh my God.
Most black people fart smell like rotten eggs, like boiled eggs.
Okay, all right. All right. Speaking of that, there's a
farts or eggs?
No, well, I guess farts.
Okay.
There's a show on Netflix. It's about the Carnival Cruise. They had a poop problem. Yeah. No, I can't think of the name of it. If somebody's watching this and listening to this right now, it's on, oh my God, I can't think of the name of it. But it's the most disgusting thing you'll ever watch, but I guarantee you'll watch it.
Carnival Cruise?
Yeah, it was a Carnival Cruise, and apparently they had a fire on board or something happened, and the plumbing all just quit. And next thing you know,
poop cruise?
The poop cruise. No, I'm serious.
I don't do boats, man.
I think so.
I did one cruise, never again.
Yeah. See, Sam Furco is part owner of the radio station that I work at.
What's up, Sam?
There you go. And Sam is a huge Jimmie Allen fan. I've tried to get him over here to the pod zone when I talk to you, but poop cruise on Netflix. I guarantee, dude.
I gotta check that out in the mix of all the shows I'm watching right now. I love TV.
Yeah. Sam goes, what's up? He's one of your biggest fans. I'm telling you.
Man, what up?
Yeah.
I need to get on. I need to get up that way.
We're going to get you. Well, you are coming up this way. but
Oh
it's
yeah.
not till September. But we'll talk about that a little bit more here in just a little bit. But Sam, we've already talked about the show, and we're very excited that you're doing this, and it's huge. It's huge. Jimmie Allen needs to get out there now. All
Yeah,
that shit's behind us. It's
you
done.
know,
It's
we're
over.
yeah, we're getting out there, slowly but surely. But for me, my main goal is to definitely do music and do music I love, but at the same time,
Mhm.
um, making sure I keep my hobbies, making sure I still create
Yeah.
time for my friends and stuff, and keeping my mental health is
Well,
important.
most important is to keep time for your kids.
Absolutely,
Regardless of the situation, that is the most important thing in your life.
you have
And
to. You
you know,
you definitely have to. Because I told you, man, I got, I was. This is the happiest I've been since 2018.
I can tell.
Like I told you, like man, like I loved touring with Kane, loved touring with Rascal Flatts, loved touring with
Mhm,
Carrie,
mhm.
loved touring with Brad, Chris Young, Scotty. But I was miserable the entire Carrie Underwood tour. Like I
Yeah.
sucked it up long enough to get on stage, but since I walked off stage, I was
All right,
like
I'm
not
done.
happy. Like
Yeah.
I didn't believe that phrase when people used to always say money doesn't buy happiness. You know, I was talking to this one guy, he's like, just because you got $1 million in your account, it won't make you happy. I said, yeah, it will. No, you won't. Like
Yeah.
you can if you're not happy here,
Mhm.
I mean, if you're not living for yourself here, because a lot of times we chase success that other people formulate for us, right? And
Right.
success is a personal thing. And I meet every artist. I meet a lot of new artists, and they said, "Well, what do I have to do? Do I have to go?" I said, "No." I said, "You don't have to sell out stadiums to be happy. You don't have to have a song on radio to be happy." I said, "Honestly, you want to do music? If you're just singing 3 nights a week on Broadway, guess what? You're singing,
Mhm.
and that's what the love should be, right? And then as your career grows, all the other shit will come with it, but
Mhm.
you have to figure out every artist has to figure out what success is to them. And I can honestly tell you, I don't want to tour stadiums. I don't.
Mhm.
Like I after having playing shows and I played a couple in stadium, I played arenas, and I played my favorite size venue to play are like House of Blues. It's anything between 500 and 2,500 people.
Perfect. Yeah. You're out of touch when you're in a stadium. Yeah, a stadium.
Absolutely.
I think, I went to a Luke Combs show at Highmark.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool. It was him and Mitchell Tenpenny. Trying to think who else was on that tour, but it's like the stadium, and it's like it's not that one-on-one experience. It's just you're on this stage and you've got 50,000 people just out there watching and listening. It's great to hear the music, but you don't connect with your fans.
Yeah.
Does that
And,
make
and and
sense?
and I feel like for some artists it's great. They love it. But I
Yeah.
know for me personally, it's not something I've ever dreamed about. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
I love your way of thinking, especially for who you are and what you've done in the past, and the way hit after hit after hit, and now doing what you're doing. I love the way you're thinking, and you know what? Your fan base, when people see how the real Jimmie Allen is, they're gonna love you, dude.
and
They're
my
just
and what's so funny, like my new tour manager, Vernon, was like, "Man, your fan base is interesting." Because it's literally like the recent show I just played, it's literally everyone from ages 2 to 98, black, white, Spanish. It's literally a
mhm,
mix. Like there's this lady, this white lady, 92 years old. Her great grandkids drove her to the show from Valdosta, Georgia.
mm,
And they said this is her 20th show she's been to. Um, so, and I've noticed too, there's certain fans, especially a lot of older ones, they like to hear the stories. So when sometimes people come to my shows, they'll be like, "Man, we like the music, but we wish you didn't, do so much talking." I said, "Well, there's certain songs that you like that other fans didn't like." So my job as entertainer is to make sure everyone there gets what they like, right? And if I realize like my older fan base, 70 and up, like the stories, I'm
mhm,
going to tell the stories.
mhm,
If I realize, the younger fan base might like this specific song and the older fan base might not, I'm still going to play that because I want to create a show that people can leave and say, "You know what? I enjoyed it. And I won't get this show anywhere but at a Jimmie Allen show." And that's how I feel every
mhm,
artist show
mhm.
should be because there's only
Exactly.
one me, there's only one every
Yep.
other artist, right? And
Yep.
if you yourself and you incorporate everything you love, whether you're that good at it or not, you're still being you're still
Mhm.
being you, and you're making your show authentic and making it something that people can't duplicate, because no one can duplicate.
Yeah. So, of course, you got these two songs that are coming out or already out, more or less.
They're coming out.
Yep, they're coming out. And we need to talk about that. What about your songwriting? Are you writing? You must be doing more of that now, because you got to follow up these two songs with something.
Oh, I got them covered. Yeah, I'm putting on. I tell you what, after these two singles, there's another two, then another two, then another two, and then another two, and another two, and another two, and another two, and another two. And what I do, shout out to a lot of my co-writers, whether it's my boy Vic and Vinny, whether it's Cam Bedell, whether it's Tate, whether it's Matt Rogers, whether it's Ryan Ball, a lot of guys I write with a lot. We definitely challenge ourselves to create songs that are me, but songs that are different. I don't want to have an album of 12 songs and 10 of the 12 sound the same. I can't do so. I'll purposely listen to songs too similar. We got to change something. You know what I mean? Because to me, I want to make music I love, but yet as an artist, I still want to challenge myself, right, to make good music. And listen, not everybody's going to like it. That's fine. But I still want to be intentional about what I'm creating, right? Challenging myself and trying to get the bar of music back here. Because, right now, man, there's a lot of lazy songs with a lot of lazy writing and a lot of lazy singing. And I personally feel like if you call yourself a singer, take time to work on your vocals, because music is the only job where you cannot be talented or good at your job and be successful. But I feel like, and just because you're successful, it still doesn't mean you shouldn't challenge yourself to get better. Whatever it's writing, performing, vocal ability, whatever. So
you growing up and going through all this, did you have vocal lessons? Did you do all that, or did you do it all on your own, more or less?
No, I grew up, in church, playing.
We're singing drums, in church. Yeah.
Playing drums first and then singing. And then, you spend time practicing and what you can use. I tell artists to get you can give yourself vocal lessons. There's this one artist I recently told, I said, pick 3 artists and 3 different genres of music, right? And learn to sing their songs, mimic them, right? And what you're doing is you're exercising your muscle, right? You're increasing your range. You're increasing your ability, what you can do with your vocals, right? And what you do is every day you sing those 3 songs, right? Guarantee 2 weeks later you'll make a difference. And then I tell people, just for breathing, jog while you sing. But no, I've never taken vocal lessons. I don't even do that whole, how people do the whole vocal warm-ups, me,
Yeah, and I've seen Nashville artists do that. I've been backstage.
I don't do that. I've never done it, because here's the thing: people do that to warm their vocals up. So I typically don't sing until a certain point of the day. So what I do is I just live my day. Then by the time it's showtime, my voice is naturally warmed up, right? And I never push my vocal past where I can go, right? Or I tell people, do piano scales if you want to work on your range. Get a keyboard.
Your phone's ringing.
Yeah, I heard it. Get a keyboard or a piano.
It's mom.
Right? That was my boy Jay. What are you talking about? He was just on my Instagram Live. Bro, you see, I'm on Instagram Live and you still call
me. He's a cousin.
Yeah, he might be. But it's about just putting the work in. Same thing with songwriting. I tell people, when you write a song, compare it to what's on the radio, also what's on your artist's favorite album, and be honest with yourself about the quality of the song, because sometimes there's a huge difference between what you love and what's good.
Tyler, are you listening to this? Because Tyler likes to sing and he plays
Yeah.
the guitar and he's
And
always
tell Tyler
wanted
he
to
can apply that to the Eagles. You might love the Cowboys, but the Eagles are good. You see what I'm saying? It's a difference between what you love and what's good.
It's good. And I don't know if Sam is still watching. Sam is a huge Steelers fan. So
Okay, I don't mind the Steelers.
all right. Okay.
I don't mind the
That's
Steelers.
supposed to be like a PA rivalry right there.
It is. But here's the thing. The Eagles Cowboy rivalry goes deeper, man. It goes.
Oh.
What? Here, hand me the soccer ball. Come here.
Oh.
Hand it to me. No,
But Dad,
you gotta get it. Come here. Here.
how adorable, man.
He said. No,
That's awesome.
No, soccer ball. Hey, you want to say hi since you
Yeah, let's
came up
see.
here?
Now, which one is this?
Amari.
Amari, hi.
Say hi.
Oh my God. Adorable.
Yeah.
Adorable. Sam just said I hate the Cowboys. Oh man. Hi,
All right,
buddy.
Amari. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Soccer ball. Where's the soccer ball?
Right here. With the pacifier.
Yeah, they go together.
Yeah, with
I
the
love it.
pacifier. Amari.
I love
bye-bye.
it. Well, we're
Here.
not going to keep you much longer. You got the kids to tend to, but
No, I don't. They're going to bed. I got TV shows to tend to. I'm watching a show called The Shy. I'm watching BMF. I'm about to start this new show tonight called We Were Liars. I heard that was good.
That is good. Have you seen The Waterfront?
I just finished The Waterfront. I watched it quick too.
I got one more episode.
Somebody told one of my friends, yeah, it's kind of like Yellowstone. That show is nothing like Yellowstone.
No,
the only thing it has in common with Yellowstone is there's white people in it. That is it. It is nothing like Yellowstone.
It's not like Yellow. Who the hell would say that? If anything, it's more like oh crap, Outer Banks.
Yeah, it is. I love Outer Banks.
Yeah.
What
That's
other
gone
show
now.
am I watching? It's like a long list of shows. What else am I watching? Oh, I just finished the new season of Ginny and Georgia. That was good. Okay. I'm waiting for the new season of My Life with the Walter Boys. I like a lot of chick shows. Waiting for the next season of Some I Turned Pretty. It's a lot of great. I tell people.
You don't watch The Bachelor, do you? Or the
no, man, that's too weird, man. Listen,
yeah, I know. My wife has it on.
I can't do The Bachelor, man. Because one, the guy always makes bad decisions.
So you are watching it?
No, I hear about it. I can say the only season I watched is the season my boy Matt James did. And I just so happened to do Dancing with the Stars with him the next season.
Yes.
My favorite line, I said, Matt, you were a nice guy, but you were an asshole at the same time. But you were a nice asshole. So instead of telling the girl you weren't interested, or instead of repeating something, you would say, thanks for saying that. That was his favorite line. This girl just poured her heart out to Matt. He sat there at the dinner table like, thanks for saying that. I'm like, bro, that is wild work, man.
Oh my God.
That is wild work.
That is so awesome. But Dancing with the Stars, man, that was a few years ago now.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was fun, man. It was fun and stressful because my children's book had just came out. So I was doing a book tour, Dance with the Stars, and the Brad Paisley tour at the same time. So I'd be in LA Sunday, Monday, then fly to a city, do a book thing, and then do another book thing. Then my dance partner Emma would travel with me, do rehearsal, then we go do Brad Paisley show, then still rehearse that day before the show, then go back to LA.
Dude.
Yeah, did that for 8 weeks. But I was in the best shape ever. My abs were popping, bro. Listen, I remember one time I took my shirt off and almost cut myself. That's how sharp my abs were. It was crazy.
Well, I can't say that.
Burns.
I can't say that. Can I ask you something, though? As busy as you were, you had Dancing with the Stars, you're on the Paisley tour, everything you just said. Do you think because you were on the road so much, traveling from point A to point B so much, that your priorities kind of got lost and kind of everything you've been through,
Absolutely.
with your marriage splitting up and all that. It just,
Absolutely.
yeah.
You can chase. I was a person that chased the fantasy over reality. You can get, I tell people it's a dangerous game getting on stage every night, right? And having people scream for you, right? Having people say we love you. And you can hear that over time and time and time and time again, right? If you're not careful and don't have a balance, you can slowly develop a God complex. You know what I mean? Like you can slowly start to get to the point where you start thinking you're higher than the average person, right?
Right.
And that's not facts, because everybody's at the same plane level. And you can, sometimes I know I did it, chasing that high so much,
Right.
that you forget what's important. And that's something else I tell artists. There's a danger to this, because see, the music business, whether it's your label, your manager, your booking agent, whatever, a lot of times they'll tell you about, how hard it is to get your song up the chart, or how hard it is, right? But they don't prepare you for what happens with success.
Right.
Where to go to your head. And a lot of times you have artists that'll say, man, I haven't gotten where I wanted to go. And I look at it sometimes as a good thing, because there's this phrase that people say a lot: God will never put more on you than you can bear, right? And people often go negative, say, oh, well, God won't do that because it'll hurt me too much. No, but I feel like sometimes he won't bless you the way he wants to, because he doesn't think you can handle it, right? And I got a lot of stuff thrown at me that I thought I could handle, but I didn't. I didn't handle it right. Priorities weren't,
Exactly.
But all you can do is, because see, I don't believe in mistakes. I don't like that word. I believe in, you made a decision and you realize later that it was the wrong decision, because a mistake is something that accidentally happens. No, we all have a choice. With everything we do is a choice. Everything, every decision we make at work, every decision we make at our job, every decision we make in a relationship, everything we do is a choice, right?
Yeah.
And it's up for us a lot of times, all the time, to be mindful of our choices and start being able to see step 3 and 4 before we even make the decision to step 1, right? And a lot of times it takes going through some shit for that to happen.
Yeah. Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, I see it now.
Oh,
you know what I mean? But you can find yourself in places we don't want to be. I remember looking up one time halfway through the Carry tour, like, who the hell am I?
Wow.
Who are these people around me, right? And how did I get here? And when you trace it back, you can slowly start to see where shit started going sideways.
Right.
And it's about understanding now and having people in your life that hold you accountable, and letting people hold you accountable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And understanding that we don't know.
Well, yeah. When you crashed hard, and
Absolutely.
you had some mental health stuff going on, and if you don't mind me saying, there was a time that you thought about taking your own life. I was reading about that story.
Yeah.
And I'm like going, wow. But now I look at you and I talk to you, and you're crazy. You're good. And this is, it makes me feel good to see you doing what you're doing, your attitude on life, thinking things out, knowing what your limits are. Just, you learn from those mistakes.
I was just talking to my booking agent today. Like, we're, starting already to plan shows for next year. He said, yeah, I do fairs and festivals on the summer. I said, true, we're going to do that, Adam. But don't forget, I need these weekends to play softball.
I need the third Saturday off of every week, of every month.
I don't want to tour every weekend. I don't want it. It's important to me to have time for my kids. It's important for me to still have time for me, because a lot of times too, and I tell parents this, you make time for your kids, but you also still got to make time for you. You know what I mean? Because you can't be a good parent unless you're a good person, unless you're happy. You can't provide for your kids, provide for your family, unless you got to take care of yourself, right? And some people might say it's selfish, but no, it's not selfish, because you have to be whole in order to take care of the people that depend on you, right? So, I tell people all the time, don't lose yourself in being a parent. Be a parent, cool.
Yeah.
But take your days off, take your moments off, whatever dream you have,
Oh God, that's
still keep chasing it.
dude. Wow. You're so good. You're so good at what you're saying, and the way you look at life is just, it's so good to see you like this. I cannot say that enough. I know you're coming to town. We're in Syracuse, as you already know. If you're watching this from wherever in the world right now, the Pod Zone is located in Syracuse. And Jimmie Allen's going to be out on tour doing the acoustic thing with the stories.
Yeah, Stories Behind the Songs tour, baby.
Yeah, baby, I love it.
And by then, Small Town Anthem be out.
Yep.
99 will be out. It was set they were looking at the last week of September, maybe first week of October, for the Gemini album. I'm calling it Gemini because I am a Gemini and I am completely insane. But it's a Middle Ages Brewing. Yep, that's where we'll be.
Middle Ages Brewing. Yep.
And it's a mix between, there's country songs on there's pop songs, there's hip hop songs, there's R&B songs, there's a couple Christian songs on there's some rock songs on there. There's some duets. Me and T-Pain did another song together. Me and Rob Thomas, we have a song that might be on there. Me and Casey from Casey and JoJo.
Yeah. Do you
go ahead.
Something
I'm gonna do that I'm excited about. My boy Vic had this idea. This guy's my brother. So what we're gonna do on this tour is, instead of a meet and greet, we're gonna call it a meet and record. Right? So where we're gonna book a studio in that city, and if there's not a studio there, we're gonna set up one backstage, right? And instead of people paying for a meet and greet, there's an artist that wants to sing, they can pay to hop on a song with me as a feature. And when the tour is over, we're going to put out the album of features, right? And call it's going to be the Stories with the Songs tour album, right? And every artist, whether they're, especially like the unsigned artists, boom, instead of paying for a meet and greet, you pay to do a song. We'll actually go in the studio, I'll vocal produce you, we'll do a song that day. And then at the end of the tour, we're going to put out the album with me and all the artists. I've never seen that done.
Love that.
Shout out to my boy for that idea. It's gonna be for people, in a way to incorporate humanity. And then 50% of the money sold from that album was going to go to this nonprofit called Duffy's Hope. They're out of Wilmington, Delaware. So
very cool, Jimmie. You're doing a good thing. You're doing a great thing.
I appreciate it, Skip.
Well, one quick question. Michael James says, does the industry, record labels, etc., support artists taking time for themselves? Good for you for making that a priority. So what? But actually,
that's a tough question. I think from some point, I think they would, because if the artists don't make time for themselves and don't have the mental capacity to write songs or to tour, I think they should. And see, there's a lot of labels out there too now that have, therapists on staff, right? Doctors that they can go to when people need help. And I'm sure there's some people that don't give a shit, but from the most part, from what I've seen in Nashville, I can just speak for the countryside. I mean, a lot of labels and a lot of people at labels check in on mental health now, because it's important. Because at the end of the day,
so important.
Without the artist, there's no label. So you got to make sure your artists are good, right? And a lot of times artists won't say when they're good or say when they're not good. So I feel like it's important to have, people that's assigned to check in with them. And if they don't check in with them, check in with people in their circle, right? That's why it's important to have a small circle, have people you love, have people you trust that are around you. And that's what I love with my new band, my new crew that I have with me. These are guys I've known forever, family members. And
that's good.
It's fun, man. And I love my old band too. But the older I get, man, it's there's so many friends and so many family members that I've been wanting to create music with.
That's so cool that you look at
I
it
have
that
a chance
way.
to do it now.
Yeah. Jimmie Allen. Wow. Jimmie Allen, loving life in Delaware via Nashville, but Delaware's your home. I get it. And I wish I had thought of that last
We got
week.
beaches here. We got oceans. We got the bay. We got fishing. We got whole crabs that we eat.
My God, it sounds so good. Wipe the face. There you go. What happened? Spit up?
Oh, nah, got my spit cup tonight is my Magic Kingdom coffee cup.
Oh, that's right. You and Disney. When was the last time you were at Disney?
I don't know. 2 months ago, 3 months ago. What was that? I don't know what.
I have no idea what the hell you just did, dude.
I meant to go, but it said,
That's all right. I can't do that. But I remember you were going quite often. Disney is your home, man. That's like your second home.
Listen, Disney's lit. And shout out to Universal, because Universal is stepping it up with that Epic Universe.
Yep.
Yo, that place. Listen, Disney. Y'all know I love you. But y'all gotta get your shit together, because Universal is coming. Okay, they are doing what the Cowboys want to do. They're making a comeback. Okay.
Tyler's over here shaking his head.
Listen. They are making listen. Anybody watching right now, whether you're a theme park fan or not, do yourself a favor and go to Epic Universe. And mind you, how normally like quick service food would just go up to the counter and you order it.
Yeah.
It's normally okay.
Yeah.
Man, the quick service food is just as good as sit down restaurants, bro.
Cool.
Like, oh yeah, I love it. I'm going. I need to go back. I need to go back here soon for sure.
I'm sure you'll be going next week. So, you got cousins down there. I'm just saying.
I do got cousins down. I told you, black people got family everywhere.
Everywhere. I like that. That. It's all good. And I wish I had known that you were in Delaware. I was there last weekend, and when I asked you, I was in Georgetown, Seaford.
Yeah,
and you're like 20 minutes from there.
Shit, Seaford. Ooh, boy, listen. Ooh, Seaford. Ooh.
Well, we went down to Rehoboth.
Okay.
And then, what's the beach if you go the other way? It's
Lewis Beach.
Dewey Beach.
Dewey, yeah.
And it was crazy.
Dewey's the party scene. See, Dewey is where you go when you're 20 and got a fake ID.
I noticed that.
Or when you're 21 to 29. Man, I rode through Dewey one night. I felt like a babysitter.
They had lines to get into these places. And I said to my wife, we don't belong here.
Yeah, people are 20 to like 29. Oh, God.
And cops on every corner, I'm like,
Dewey's fun, man. I remember spent a lot of my days in my 20s going out there. But see, when you get older, like me, we go to Rehoboth, or if we do go to Dewey, it's during the day.
I got you.
Between noon and like 3 p.m.
Now, do they have rental property in Dewey?
Do they? Oh, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
That whole place is pure rental property.
There's
some people that own some stuff down there, but yeah, you can always find a rental.
That's cool. No, and not that I would stay there. I think when we drove through there last week, it was like, no, we're never coming back here. We'll go to Rehoboth.
Yeah, man. Dewey's fun. It's a cool place, and that whole strip, just from Rehoboth to Dewey to Bethany to Fenwick, and then you hit Ocean City, Maryland. It's just all right there, man.
My boss Sam said if you drove another hour, you'd be in Ocean City.
Oh yeah, and it's not even an hour, honestly. You can get there. Probably about 35 minutes. The only thing that really stops you is the lights, but it's literally a straight shot.
Yeah, no, I noticed it was a straight shot. The road was very straight.
Yeah, and it's all water. If you're driving that way, you got the bay.
Yeah.
The bay on the right, the ocean on the left, the whole way down.
Exactly. It was beautiful, except for all the people. So,
oh yeah.
And as we said many minutes ago, the fact that not really a people person when it comes to crowds, if that makes sense.
Like I told you, I love people, but I don't like people.
Yeah, I know. Jimmie Allen, thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time last minute. I know I reached out to you today. You were so generous by taking my call. Even though you were fishing, you took 2 minutes away from that to talk to Skip. I mean, that's cool. That's cool.
Man, listen, man. Skip's my guy.
No, you're my guy, man. I appreciate you very much. Everything you've been through, the good, the bad, the indifferent, whatever. It's all behind us. Us. And Jimmie Allen is, you're going to be right back doing what you do the best.
Absolutely.
Well, it's
Just
amongst
watching TV.
watching TV and fishing and
Yeah,
playing
sleep on that.
softball and bowling and maybe
Yeah.
giving Patrick Mahomes a phone call.
And then hopefully, I'll get the exact date, but
Okay.
the stand-up special's coming this year too. So
Really? You know
Yeah.
what? I want to talk to you a minute when we get done, but I want to say thank you for joining us here on Skip Happens tonight.
thank you.
I mean, Tyler was pretty pumped to come over and
My
kind of
guy, Tyler.
bust on you a little
How's it
bit.
going?
Love it.
He's Mr. Conversation over here.
Yeah, he's the man of 3 words max.
How's it going? Yeah. How's it going? How's it going? But Jimmie, you're awesome. Thank you for joining us here on Skip Happens. You took the time out to do this. You didn't have to do it, but you did it. And we need more people like you. It's awesome. The music
Conversation, bro.
Where can is the music going to be available if somebody's watching this and they want to get their hands on the new music?
The new music will be available end of this month.
End of this month.
Yeah,
All right.
they can just stay tuned into the socials, the
Socials.
pages,
Mm-hmm.
it's I'm super excited for the songs, whether it's Beer 99, Small Town Anthem, another song called Drop It Like a Tailgate, and we got Sunset for.
Oh, now he's revealing the titles. Drop It Like a Tailgate. All right, give us another one.
You.
No,
It's a bunch, and
I love it.
a song called Breaking Up.
okay.
Gemini is a fun project that when people ask me how long it took to write, I'm 40, so I would say it took 40 years because it is
Makes sense.
From different moments in life, the good moments
So
and the bad moments.
definitely good stuff, man. So real quick, you have a Buc-ee's down there?
No, I keep hearing about this place. I was actually at the softball tournament this weekend, and my guy Mike Deal, shout out to Mike Deal, he's head of marketing for Mike and Rawlings and Worth. He had this chair that looked like them fold up chairs that you can, but it was a couch. And I said, "Where'd you get this from?" And he said, "Buc-ee's." And I said, "I keep hearing about this place called Buc-ee's." Then they was like, "Man," and then other guys came over talking about it. Said, "Oh man, it's like a mix between like Walmart and Wawa and all this other." I was like, "I don't know if I need that place because there's never been a time where I was at Wawa where I needed something from Walmart. I just feel like there's a lot going on." Then they talk about they serve ice cream. You serve. I don't know how I feel about buying ice cream the same place I pump gas. It's, shout out to Buc-ee's, everything they're doing. I hear it's a great place.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go check it out one day. Apparently,
You'll see it on the road.
My booking agent had an idea for me to do like a Buc-ee's like tour, like where you go through Buc-ee's and like just like go sign stuff. But I'm gonna have to.
It's pretty big. We don't have those here either. That's why I thought maybe in this, if we go a little bit further south, maybe you'd see them. You're way further. All right, never mind.
Way further south.
All right.
I think it's like what is it, like Tennessee, Kentucky? Is there like one in Nebraska area? Oh, the places where tornadoes normally go. Is where
No, wait a minute. Tornadoes go to Nashville now. Tornadoes are here in Syracuse. Tornadoes have been in Delaware.
That's
so
tornado alley right there. Yeah, man.
I know.
It's wherever the people decide to
All right. Jimmie Allen, you are the freaking best, man. You are just one phenomenal person. Appreciate you very.
Somebody says Dallas has a Buc-ee's. What?
What? Who said that? Wait a minute. I didn't see that.
Who said beavers can't fly?
Oh my God, you're cracking me up. You are cracking me up. I love you, man. I love you. Jimmie Allen, we all love you. And we look forward to the music coming out the end of the month. Keep an eye on his socials and and he's going to let you know when they come out. Thank you, everybody, for watching, by the way. Make sure you follow Jimmie on all his socials. I know you probably already do, but if not, make sure y'all do that. And if you would, I'd like to ask you to subscribe to Skip Happens as we talk to
Absolutely. Subscribe to Skip Happens. I just started this new thing on my YouTube called The Random, where every day I just film different selfie clips of what I'm doing and where I'm at. And then I clip them together, make them anywhere between 10 minutes and 15 minutes, and I post them on my YouTube page. So it's not a reality show. It's not really a documentary. It's just
is it like a short?
So
you know how you can do.
It's a long. The last one I just put up was 11 minutes.
All right. No.
But it's fun. You'll see music stuff. Me with the kids, fishing,
Love it,
bowling,
love it, love it.
softball. Just
Cool.
random
It
moments.
is
It's
fun. You're fun. And we'll subscribe to your YouTube page. You subscribe to my YouTube page. We're going to be happy.
Subscribe to your YouTube page and get this YouTube subscribing.
That's it. Jimmie Allen, everybody. Once again, thank you for being on Skip Happens tonight. I want you to stay there. I want to talk to you for a second.